Okay, so we are going to talk about three things here. Number one, the numbers. Number two, specialty. And number three, trends. So there's a number that sounds impressive on the surface. And then there's the reality behind it. Let's break it down. The US donut industry is projected to generate around $9 to $10 billion in revenue in 2026. It's growing at roughly a 2 to 3% rate annually. It sounds good, but it means nothing right now. Most of that revenue is going to Dunkin' and Krispy Kreme. These chains own around 60% of the entire industry. So when we're talking about the donut industry is worth 10 billion, what we really are saying is these two are going to have the majority of it. So us as independent shops, we won't be competing on distribution, price, or consistency. We won't be able to win that. So who's winning right now? Let's go through some examples. Voodoo Donuts from Portland. People will stand in line for an hour. They are selling an experience and the donuts are weird enough to photograph and talk about. And then there's Blue Star. They position themselves as upscale and charge $4 per donut while everyone else is charging cheaper. But people pay without thinking twice. And of course there's Randy's here in LA. Still, none of these are competing with Dunkin' or Krispy Kreme. And to be honest, I don't think they're trying to. They built something that these two can't copy. That's why they're still standing. So this is what we need to take away from this. The question isn't how big the industry is. The question is going to be, are we going to do what Dunkin' and Krispy Kreme can't copy? This is where we need to get creative and find our path. So that's why we did the blueprint. That will help us separate us from them. Okay, so now that we know the market and we have the numbers in the landscape, let's find out where the opportunity is. Okay, now let's talk about the specialty donut industry. I think this is where our opportunity lies. But first, let's see if there's going to be any risks. So this is what the data is telling us. The specialty in the artisan donut industry is growing 5 to 7% annually. I don't think the numbers are there to be a regular donut shop. This is a big deal because I think our market is heading in the right direction. And I think if we position ourselves right, we can ride the wave. So first, it's like premium donuts give people permission to spend more. When something is artisan, people won't think twice about paying $4 to $5 per donut. To them, it almost feels special. Second, Instagram changed everything for the food business. A visually striking donut is marketing. People will buy it, then they take pictures, and they will post it. This will be free advertising for us. And the third, younger customers care more about the experience than consistency. They would rather have something memorable once than something predictable every day. So who's winning in this space right now? So this says if we nail a specific aesthetic or flavor profile, and not that we do everything, we should do okay. If we create FOMO, like limited runs, seasonal flavors, and only on Saturdays, scarcity will drive demand. We can run with this. We're going to skip this part right here. We're not going to mix anything at the moment. So who's losing? I don't think we want to out Dunkin' or Krispy Kreme. I don't think we can beat them on speed, price, or convenience. And I don't even think we should try. Shops that think quality is enough, quality is the minimum. So basically it's saying everybody says their donuts are good, but this is not the reason for someone to drive across town. Shops that launch 30 flavors have too much choice and can kill word of mouth. Nobody will remember that place that has everything. but they will remember the place with the maple bourbon bacon donut that made them stop and say, what was that? I think we want to pick one thing and be known for that one thing. Now here's what we really need to think about. Specialty donuts are trendy right now. That means there will be a window open, but it also means saturation will come fast. Some cities might even have 2 or 3 of these businesses already. So if you are opening in a market that already has an established donut shop and we're not first, being second means we need to be radically different or demonstrate being better. So the question we will need to answer before anything is this. We're gonna need to know what market are we in and who's already there. And this is why we did the blueprint earlier. We will look at the competitor types, what each one believes, and the gap none of them own. And in that gap is where we wanna go and find our lane. Okay, so now we know the market. We know who's winning and we know who's losing and why. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the trends, because when we start researching the donut business, we're going to see a lot of them. Things like vegan, gluten-free, health conscious, unique flavors, and limited drops. Also donuts that are Instagram worthy. So that's 5. But I think that's 5 too many. See, trying to serve them all means that we won't be memorable to none of them. I agree with that. And we're going to talk about why here. See, vegan customers and unique flavor customers are not the same people. Health conscious buyers are not going to be lining up for limited drops, Instagram donuts, and gluten-free is a dietary restriction, not a lifestyle. These customers need it, but they are not building hype around our shop. And we can't be that everything. So let's break down what actually works and what doesn't. So here it's saying vegan and gluten-free. We are solving a problem for people who cannot eat regular donuts. It's saying the market is small and it's going to serve only about 3 to 6% of the population. And that means our margins are going to be worse because the ingredients cost more and the volume is lower. If we were the only option in town, it would work. But if somebody is near us, it'll be too late. Now, health conscious will be a hard sale because donuts are inherently indulgent. Healthy donuts, that's like being an oxymoron. The shops that pull this off will reframe the whole product, saying yes, it's a donut, but it's made with almond flour and monk fruit and is only 150 calories. This is a totally different customer, saying if this is our angle, we're competing with protein bars and smoothie bowls, not Dunkin'. So now on to unique flavors. This one will work, but only if the flavors are truly weird and truly good. Saying lavender honey is not unique anymore. Everyone does lavender. Unique means I've never seen that combination and I have to know it works. Miso caramel, brown butter bourbon, Halva pistachio. That's what's going to make people say wait. It's saying though, the risk in that is the flavor is too weird and nobody buys it twice. You need strange enough to talk about, safe enough to finish. And limited drops, saying the supreme for donuts. And it would work if we have the discipline to actually limit the supply. But most shops cave. They make extra, they extend the hours, they kill the scarcity. If we do decide to do this, we need to be ruthless. Sold out at 11 a.m., see you next Saturday. Requires existing demand or you're just limiting revenue for no reason. And that becomes a problem because we want to sell as much as we can because obviously money's going to matter. But those limited drops can help, so we'll discuss this further. Now the Instagram worthy. What is it saying? This is not a strategy, it's a result of doing something actually remarkable. Nobody posts a donut because it's pretty. They post it because it's surprising. The visual has to be tied to the experience. A glittery donut is just decoration. A donut with a whole slice of cake on top is a story. So here's what we actually need to decide. Will we be building for people who can't eat regular donuts or people who don't want to eat regular donuts, the health conscious? They're going to be completely different businesses. Will we be chasing hype, the limited drops, the Instagram bait wild flavors, or reliability with consistent recipe quality and repeat customers with daily traffic? Saying hype will get us launch buzz, reliability keeps you open past year 2. The shops that win pick one lane and go all in. Voodoo Donuts, weird flavors, Instagram chaos, tourists, Blue Star, upscale, bourbon based, and foodies. Donut Friend, LA, vegan punk aesthetic, and counterculture. So what will be our lane? Alright, so when we get into the entry point and the cost breakdown in the next episode, the answer to the question is going to shape every single decision we make. So I'll see you there.